a lot's happened upstairs for me, right? We've
We've had a lot of conversations over the last over the last 4 months.
Like I said, people like to continue what they're doing and call themselves lifestyle financial planners. But, to be honest, there's a lot that goes with it. There's huge commitment that has to happen. You've got to change your whole way of doing business. We have to be prepared to give up commissions, right? To throw them out the window. You've got to say, look, that's not what I want to. That's not how I want to do. That's not the manner in which I want to operate. And I want to do things like this, and be prepared to actually implement those things. So we've physically implemented the whole process in the business, from the initial interaction, the implementation, the ongoing relationship, and then having for lack of a better word, having the balls to actually honor it and implement it with our clients. That kind of takes us to where I used to be and where I am, because this client, his mom was my client. She passed away, and she had lovely things to say about me to him. She was old, and I used to go visit her, and she used to make me tea, and it was great. So she enjoyed that, right? So I was like the bee's knees in her eyes. Went to go see him. So this was maybe 2 years, the initial interaction. He had some money. He wanted a product, tried to do some things, tried to sell him a product 2 years ago, and he wasn't having any of it. He didn't want to pay the fees. A year later, which was last year, November, calls me up. Look, his mom had passed then. So we were interacting. He's like, look, I'm keen on the stuff again. Put it together, put a plan together. He wasn't having any of the fees. Still just try to sell him something, This was even after I did the Alan Gray webinar. I was just seeing the number. I was like, 350,000 Rand commission. That's all I want, right? So I'm going to do what I need to do to get that. Fast forward a year, calls me up, and he's like, Mark, I need to see you. I've seen another guy. Come and see me. So I go see him. He's got the other guy's plan, and he's got my original plan from last year. And he's like, oh, I like this, but I like your plan, right? So go back, fix the numbers, and let's do this. So now I'm thinking, wow, the 350 is here, even now, right? So go back, and I know he's not going to pay the fee. Drop it to 1%. I'm like, I'm doing you a favor, dropping it to 1%. That's my bargaining chip. And he's like, no, 1%. Well, I'm a senior counsel advocate. I work 24 hours a day, and I don't earn 350,000 Rand for signing a piece of paper, is literally what he told me. Ego like gone, So I was like, no, but don't worry, I'm going to do it for 1%. So he was like, 100,000 Rand. Are you mad? So then I was like, we're getting into a bit of a negotiation, and I was like, is this the financial planner that I want to be? Is this what I want to do? I want to sit and negotiate fees, not even value or what I'm doing. It was just a pure negotiation. So eventually I said, Stephen, let's just stop right now, right? So we're not going anywhere with this. If you were a new client to the practice, this is the process I'm trying to implement into my business going forward. So a new client, we would have a discussion, find out about you, where you're at, what your story is, how you got to where you are, really get to know you, and then take you through our financial planning process. So then do the financial planner stuff, get the numbers from you, and build your cash flow out through the software. For that sort of process, I would charge you 20,000 Rand. And then from that, we'll implement and we'll go into an ongoing relationship where we provide X, Y, and Z. I got a whole bunch of those things from our last meeting in terms of the ongoing value proposition, not sending you quarterly statements, and put that together and present and said, look, 20,000 upfront, 40,000 per annum as an ongoing financial planning fee. He was like, the 20 I can do, the 40, what are you going to do? This is a 5-year product. I'm not going to see you for 5 years. I was like, whoa. So let's go through the value again. Went through the ongoing proposition, and I had to agree with him. I was like, Stephen, you're 100% right. Because he actually said to me at one point, if this was a R1 million policy, you would only earn 10,000 Rand. But because it's a 10 million Rand policy, you want to earn 100,000 Rand. What are you doing different? And the next day when I went,
that's a great question, by the way.
it just hit home, and I was just like, when I went back the next day to complete everything and to sign my mandates and stuff, I said to him, Stephen, I've got to apologize, for what actually happened yesterday, because when you said those words to me, it made me just acknowledge about the type of planner that I want to be. I don't want to be charging. I want to be able to justify what I charge. I need a value proposition behind me, and I don't care. Like you can't justify 350,000 rand upfront. You can't, no matter what you do. I don't. There's no value behind it. And the next guy who comes in and does it for 2%, well, then he's got a 250,000 rand value proposition, and now that's cheaper than yours. So it's just not sustainable. It's not fair, and it's not the way I want to do business. So we kind of got him to agree on those terms, which is great. I actually went back to sign the paperwork, and he's like, "You've got competition." He phoned the bank to move the money, and they automatically asked him what he's doing. He told them, no, you don't want to talk to me when the money's there. But then they'd end up sending him a quote on what we had done. With the fees on it, they went to 1.5%. So and obviously there was no commission built into his product on our side. So he had the best rate, he had the best terms, and I was like, Stephen, there can't be any competition, right? You've agreed to pay me an upfront fee, an annual fee, and you don't pay any commissions going forward. It makes sense. I'm the guy in your corner now. When you need to make a financial decision, you talk to me. My advice is independent. There's nothing swaying my decision. And even that kind of opened his mind. He was starting to talk about maybe putting more money into that particular product or another product in a year's time when his mom's estates wind up, because he's not worried now about having to pay me a ridiculous fee. He knows that I'm looking out for his best interests. And the feeling, like, when you do that, for me is amazing. Like, it's real relationships with clients. He said to me the other day, he is literally a walking advert for my services, which is amazing. Because he feels like for once he's not getting screwed by the industry.
Yeah.
That's what he feels.